what we have is on River State. Front page of today is The Punch. Ibas rejects Assembly's move to probe 6-month spending. The writers to that one, ex-administrator, insists lawmakers lack power to question tenor. CSOs urge Fubara to hold Ibas accountable. This is on page 2 of today's The Punch. And so this is looking at the River State House of Assembly as led by Right Honorable Martin Zamehule, saying we will probe the spending of the emergency administrator. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's neither here nor there. You know why? First and foremost, I still believe that the emergency rule in River State was illegal. To an illegal contraption. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court was not bold enough to hear the case early enough and make an adjudication on this matter. Illegal for two reasons. Number one, I do not think there was an imminent threat of breakdown of security enough to warrant even a declaration of state of emergency. And even when there is sufficient grounds to declare state of emergency, as we had in the Northeast then when President Jonathan declared state of emergency in some local governments, you cannot do that by suspending elected government structures. Was politically motivated for simply a means to hold down Fubara, tie his hands, tie his legs behind him, and allow Wiki to slaughter him. That was just what that was about. Now, for the assembly that is led by, or should I say, that is loyal to former Governor Wiki and now Minister Wiki, to now be wanting to probe a contraption that was used to even up to kind of balance the power play in River State on behalf of their boss is a bit curious. You start wondering, what are you probing in an illegality? I mean, the whole entire thing is if you go to court exactly I hope they won't even get Ibas arrested and jailed for usurping the powers of an elected governor in River State or implicate the president. Because if you go to court on this matter, the first you have to determine is, does Ibas have the constitutional power to preside over a state that had an elected governor for 6 months? That is where the case will start from. So it will torpedo the arrangement that has even the power play in the state now in favor of Wiki.
Okay,
but the assembly members will be to Wiki, so I don't know what they're trying to do. Okay,
but so now what the Punch is telling us is that Ibas is saying the lawmakers lack the power to question his tenor. Do you agree with him as quoted by the Punch that maybe he's thinking is that because they're he was an emergency appointee, in
a sense, assuming without considering that this was legal, assuming the state of emergency was legal and was in order, assuming but not considering necessarily, it will mean that the only person who can hold responsible for Ibas's actions or inactions as administrator will be the appointing authority, the president of the federation or the federation. Because under the constitution, as a matter of fact, appointees are not always held liable for the action because they are deemed to be acting on behalf of the president. Anything they do is deemed to be delegated authority, except when the president decides that on this one I did not delegate that. So they have the president to contend with in trying to probe Ibas. That's what Ibas is trying to say. That in an emergency situation, I'm not accountable to anybody. I can do anything under the guise of security management. And besides, I was appointed by the president. So you have the president to contend with, because whatever I do, I get clearance for the president. And when the president has cleared me, I mean I can go ahead and do it. So I can be held personally liable.
So
exercising authority on behalf of the president.
So is it that the president, or his appointees have a free rein beyond scrutiny, probity, accountability that can't be held to account by legislature?
Not that I'm saying that. In this instance, this was a contraption in itself. A contraption that was ostensibly in favor of the legislature of government in Rivers as members of the Wiki faction. So going back to that probe, what was clearly a contraption is simply complicating issues.
But it's debatable that this was in favor of the legislators because they were also suspended, and they can also come out to say, well, they're also victims. Because I have it on good account that maybe they yes.
Like politically, they are members of the Wiki faction. They're not hiding that fact. And it was Fubara's disobedience of the Supreme Court judgment, so to say, or his refusal to recognize the assembly member and all of that, that totally they want to probe in an arrangement that was a contraption that was illegal, but that was in the favor of their own faction or the power trouble in the state. What exactly are they trying to do? So for me, it's a complete distraction.
Okay,
Rivers people have had enough.
So will it be the National Assembly? Yeah, will it be the National Assembly? Who would have the power to investigate or to probe the financial, dealings of the emergency government of Ibas? For
me, again, without necessarily considering, but assuming everything was in order, and there was a security breach, and there was need to install an administrator, assuming the Constitution allows for all of that. In this instance, yes, it will be the president that has appointed him. Now have the power to refer his case to the assembly. That's what I'm to say. I gave approvals for so and so, but he went beyond the threshold of my approvals. So I want it probed, and I want him referred to the relevant authorities for sanction. Because emergency, the nature of emergency is that when you have a security emergency, anything can be done. You can take $1 billion and point it to the Atlantic Ocean and call it a security spending. That is the nature of Nigerian security spending. So I do not know the extent to which, I don't know the base upon which they're trying to probe it back, but I'm just saying, this is a complete waste of time of the Rivers people. It's going to create more controversies, and I do not think Rivers can remain in paralysis for the rest of this tenure because of a contraption that, in my opinion, is illegal, was unwarranted, is unconstitutional. How do you probe an unconstitutionality? I don't get it, really.
Okay. The next one is regarding INEC and the 2027 election. A number of papers have carried the same story, so we'll go with the punch. This is what they say. 2027 APC opposition list expectations for INEC next INEC chair. This is a contentious issue. And I want your thoughts on this, because the paper says as the 2027 general election approaches, the All Progressives Congress, People's Democratic Party, African Democratic Congress, I noticed the paper didn't add Labour Party, but well, have outlined key expectations for the incoming chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, emphasizing credibility, neutrality, and commitment to democratic principles. What feeling do you have regarding this expected change in the chairmanship of INEC? Are you confident that I will have a qualified, neutral person who will come in and give Nigerians free and fair elections?
I'm not optimistic about that. That will tantamount to President Tinubu leading the current pack of political leaders on a journey of class suicide, which ordinarily would have been good for the Nigerian. But considering their own self-interest, immediate prerogative, I'm sure they're willing to do that. I've observed that since Jonathan made, in quote unquote, the mistake of appointing a Jega as INEC chairman, somebody he never knew, somebody who is from the extreme part of the northern flank of Nigeria, while Jonathan was from the extreme southern part of the country. He's a Christian guy. These are two parallel lines that we never have met, which would have been the ideal candidacy for INEC chairmanship. Because INEC is an independent body that's supposed to conduct elections of people that will preside over our affairs, our security and welfare. So ordinarily, it's a very serious task.